Hello everybody, today we're going to be doing some more Subarashiki Hibi. Now, today's going to be a really quite eventful day because Takuji has been saying about the fact that, well, there's going to be a change and there's going to be a quote-unquote more peaceful Takuji that's going to be replacing him somehow. I don't really understand how, but, and I don't really understand how he knows about it as well. There are so many really weird things that are going on at the moment. Obviously I wonder how everything's going to resolve itself, really. I mean, do keep in mind that today is July the 11th. I know that the plot has been seeming completely ideal, and if anything, I think it's seemed better than ever before. But at the same time, I really don't know what's going to happen in this next day. Best case scenario, I don't know, maybe things are going to continue as they normally would. Worst case scenario, yeah, let's just say the significant event on July the 12th is going to occur. I don't know why, but I feel like this day is going to be the most fateful day out of the entire story so far. I just have that instinct because of what we know beforehand. And the thing is, there is a change in Takuji. That could mean that, I don't know, maybe in the worst case scenario, the Takuji that is going to be emerging now is the one that originates in the sewers and that is a total degen. The one that wrote all of those disturbing messages that Zakuro hated. Let me just reread a bit so that I can get context. Well, I know the context, but I just wanna reread it for the sake of rereading. Yeah, now's your last chance. That's really interesting. Yeah, but she is really worried. I don't blame her. Yeah, I do find it really quite pleasant just how understanding Kimika is. And I just think it's so sick to think about the fact that Megu and Satoko made it so that this friendship that had so much potential could never form. That is interesting. I really, really wonder. But maybe it's because of the fact that she's scared that Zakuro will be vulnerable. Well, she's scared about the fact that Zakuro will be very vulnerable to whatever this change is. Maybe she feels as if, obviously, Zakuro has feelings of dependence to Takuji, but I don't really know. I don't think she thinks Takuji is necessarily a bad person. But at the same time, I don't think she trusts him. She's just really scared that Zakuro's going to be heartbroken, I think. What does she sound like? Yeah, she is, yeah.
最後のチャンスだとか限界だとか言ってたのが気になるんでしょ
I love this quote. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, let's be honest, that's the proposal. That is the cue for a proposal. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I love how much it's implied. is also a very, very true statement. Yeah. Yeah, no, I see that. Overconfidence, gotta love it. Oh, she's totally humiliated. Yeah, this is really nice. She'll do anything for this, but it's very important. She should. Interesting. I just want to see how this conversation began, by the way. Oh, yeah. Talking about Takuji. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, I remember this, yeah. Yeah. He's a good person. He even gave you back your knife. Yeah. It is really nice, that. Yeah, it's interesting, though. It really, really is. Akasaka-san and Kitami-san didn't come to school that morning. All of the students who got beaten up by Mamiya-kun were absent. Yeah, fucking cowards. Well, they deserve it, to be honest. I heard rumours that some of them were hospitalised. At noon, Kimika went to buy some bread. She didn't say a word to me. Oh, yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, it's as if Kimika is making the environment as unpleasant and as awkward for Zakuro as possible, so that she feels she wants to get out of the environment in which she is next to her in. So, obviously, that will just force her to go up to the rooftop. This is the only possibility of what's going to happen. Imagine if you just see, I don't know, Tomosane or Ayana or just someone ridiculous like that. You don't see Takuji. I decided to take her suggestion and head to the rooftop. Right. Dude, I hear Ayana's theme. What the fuck? Okay, that's actually really interesting. Interesting that we're hearing Ayana's theme for somebody who isn't Ayana. That's unusual as fuck. What? He was reading like always. Okay. Is he reading a line? Right, here we go. Hello. I love that we're not even going to be able to... Okay. The next visual we get is going to entirely change the story. I bet you anything. I was always frightened when I talked to him before, but this time I managed to say hello in a calm voice. Interesting, that, yeah. It's not Suwa Takuji. No way. You again? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but the only thing that's odd is he's reading a book. He looked at me like I was a pest. He seemed like the Mamiya-kun from last night. Is today's Mamiya the version that's not acting? Interesting. I'm actually really surprised about this. I thought there was going to be some sort of bigger change, but no, I think that's just Takuji subtly saying that he wants to change himself for the good, and he's not going to get involved with any of this horrible gang-related things. He's just going to isolate himself, if I'm going to be honest. What do you want? Yeah, reasonable. I don't want to say anything. I just wanted to say thank you. God. I thought there was going to be a bigger change in Takuji, but no, it's as if he is completely the same person. But the only thing is we have the delinquent Takuji kind of merging personalities with the other Takuji that Zakuro knows and loves, because obviously he's beginning to read a book. I don't need your thanks. That was just a game to me. You could say that's one of my hobbies, right? Jesus Christ. That's one of your hobbies? Jesus Christ. And to think about the fact that Zakuro was maybe thinking of trying to propose to this guy. Fucking hell. Yeah, my hobby is hurting people. Really? God, look at how his eyes have changed. Looks like a complete monster. He looks emotionless, if anything.
私は傷つけられるどころか守っていただきました。
But you didn't hurt me. You actually protected me. Yeah, exactly.
お前みたいに無力な人間など傷つけたって面白くないからな。人を壊すならなるべく頑丈な方がいい。
Isn't it interesting that Ayana's theme is playing? You know what happens? Ayana's theme is always the one that plays for something unknown, or if anything, something that's delusional. I mean, this is not delusional. No way. But, yeah, I think it's just interesting that this theme is playing. It's no fun hurting someone like you, though. You're already powerless. It's more fun to beat up the strongest people I can find. That's all. I looked at the book he was reading. As always, it looked like a really hard book to read.
今日は何を読んでるんですか?
What are you reading today?
さあな。そんなことお前には関係ないだろ。
Isn't that interesting? What does it matter? It has nothing to do with you.
学識ある無知についてって書いてあります。
It says on learned ignorance.
ああ、そうだ。ニコラウス・クザーヌスだ。
Yeah, that's right. It's by Nicholas Cusanus.
学識についての本?
What's it about? I've heard of that title, I swear, but I don't know what the book's about either.
神学の本だ。
It's a theology book.
神学ってキリスト教とかですか?
Theology, like Christianity and stuff like that.
ああ、キリスト教とかだ。
Yeah, something like that. God, look at how little he wants to talk about it. And isn't it interesting beforehand? The Takuji we've known, I mean, my God. He had the opposite. I mean, this is horrible because it's as if this Takuji has merged all of... Well, it's as if he has all of the desire to read books and obviously do the things that Zakuro and him bonded over, but it's just the personality is not there and it's totally replaced, if anything. Yeah, something like that.
間宮君ってキリスト教徒だったんですか?
I mean, you a Christian, Mamiyaku.
なわけないだろ。
Yeah, seriously, I would never have thought of him as a Christian. Yeah, same. Why would you think that? I hate religion. Isn't that ironic, if anything? Because obviously, if you think about it's my own invention, this is basically what he started. He did kind of start a religion. He spoke without a hint of emotion in his voice until he got to the word religion, which he spoke with disgust. Does he really hate religion? Yeah, I wonder why.
嫌いなんですか? ごめんなさい。好きだから読んでるのかと。
You hate it? I'm sorry, I thought that might be why you're reading it.
宗教が好きじゃないと神学の本を読んではいけないという理由でもあるのか?
God, isn't it interesting just how unpleasant he is? I mean, my God, he really wants to be just to himself. He doesn't want Zakuro to intrude whatsoever, but Zakuro, obviously, because she's known the nice Takuji, she will always do it. Is there any reason someone who hates religion shouldn't read theology? I mean, not necessarily.
あ、いいえ。
Just for intellectual curiosity, really.
面白いんですか? 嫌いなものを読んで。
Oh no, I don't think that at all. So is it fun reading stuff you hate?
全然。
So why is he doing it then? Not at all.
面白くないんですか?
It's not.
高尚すぎて意味がわからん。
It's too complicated. I don't know what any of it means. So why is he reading it?
高尚すぎて。でも読むんですか, 間宮君は?
Too complicated? But you're still reading it. Yeah. It's really odd.
ああ。
Yeah.
どんな本なんですか?
What kind of book is it?
題名まんまな本。
Just what it says on the cover.
じゃあ、学識がある無知の話なんですね。
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. Then it's about learned ignorance.
そうだ。
That's right.
そうなんですか.
Is that so? Yeah, no, I totally see this. It's Zakuro who is fueling the conversation. If Zakuro wasn't doing anything, this conversation would have ended instantly. Yeah, this hardly even... Yeah, good point. This hardly even qualifies as a conversation. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah, ironic for somebody who reads books. Yeah, he keeps analysing everything I say. He's totally different from the Mamiya-kun I met here before. I agree, yeah. How can I make this conversation work? We have to have a real conversation if I want to talk to him about anything. Yeah, fair enough. You can't just ask it out of the blue. You have to steer it in the direction, really. Maybe if I asked him some questions?
主にどういうところがわからないんでしょうか?
What parts don't you understand? What parts don't you understand?
大体まんべんなくおしなべて意味がわからん。
I don't really understand why he's reading that then. I mean, if he doesn't understand it because... Sorry, if he doesn't enjoy it because of the fact that he doesn't understand it, maybe he's trying to learn more about perspectives about the things he hates. Or maybe it's just the case... I just don't really understand why he's reading in such, if you ask me, a misdirected manner. I mean, surely you should read things you like and things you enjoy? Rather than things you hate and you don't understand whatsoever. I mean, I can understand if it was maybe a book about a subject you really liked and obviously you didn't understand much of it, so you wanted to learn to understand it. But this is not a subject he likes. So it just doesn't make sense to me, seriously. Pretty much all of it.
そうなんですか。でも具体的に。
Oh, but specifically... God, he's so hostile, and isn't that interesting? Yeah, no, but isn't it ironic to think about the fact that Kimika, her sad expressions, they really make sense, just because I don't necessarily think she... No, she always thought that Takuji was manipulating Zakuro, so I suppose this is just... She's really scared that her belief is going to be what's present here, and it's not, but it could be taken out of context for Kimika's sake, easily, I think. Mamiya-kun glared at me. I guess I was too persistent.
例えば、ある画面に円が映っているとする。
No, but the only thing is, I mean, he is trying to input into the conversation and say what he doesn't understand. So I think Zakuro is getting somewhere. For example, let's say there was a circle on a plane. Okay.
その円の円周のどこでもいいから点を決めて、その点を中心にどんどん大きくしていく。
Take any point on the perimeter of the circle and expand the circle from there. What would happen? Hang on a second, that's actually a really weird question. I don't really understand how you would visualize expanding it. But yeah, it would be bigger. Undeniably, the area would be bigger. Wouldn't it? It would be bigger than the first.
はみ出した部分は曲線となって見えるだろう。だが、この曲線がもし無限の大きさを持つ円だったらどうなる?
Oh, okay, I get that now. Yeah. Yes, the edge of the new circle would look like a curved line, right? But what would happen if the circle was infinitely large? That is actually a good point. If the circle was infinitely large, would it actually be able to meet all of the other points? Would the start be able to meet the end? But the only thing is, I mean, it's an enlargement of this point here. So, I don't know. I feel like if you're... Oh, then again. That is a bit of a tricky question.
無限の円ですか？
Yeah,
どんど
yeah,
ん
yeah.
曲線は緩くなっていくんですよね。
But how would it be infinite then? An infinitely large circle? And the curvature would gradually decrease.
ああ、そうだ。円が大きくなればなるほど、曲線は限りなく直線に近づいていく。
Yeah, 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 totally. Yeah, that's right. As the circle grows larger, it becomes closer to being a straight line.
だが、
Yeah.
これが無限だったらどうなると思う？
But what would happen if it was infinitely large? Would it just be a straight line or what?
どうなるんですか？
What would happen?
クザーヌスはそれは直線になると言っている。
Sana said it would become a perfectly straight line.
なるんです
That's
か？
really weird. Would it?
ああ、数学上はどう考えても直線になるな。円に任意の点
Oh, I never thought we'd be
AB を
doing
つ
this
け
today.
円周 AB の中心点を C、さらに AB を結んだ直線の中心点 D として考え、曲線 AB が無限に緩やかになっていくのを考えればわかりやすい。
Yeah, mathematically it has to be a straight line. If you take any 2 points A, B on the perimeter of a circle and call the midpoint C. Yeah, okay. And the point within the tighter circle D. Well, I guess it would be easiest to think of it as the curvature becoming infinitely small. Yeah. Then again, I mean, let's say this... I just really wonder if it would be an asymptote to anything.
そうなんですか？
Really?
数学の授業で循環小数の時に習わなかっただろう。
Oh god, yeah, you probably learned it in class when we learned about repeating decimals.
そうでしたっけ？
Oh god, Zakuro, I feel bad. Did we?
まあ、循環小数 0.999 が1と等しいということを理解できない。その事実に拒否反応を示す学生は多いらしく、教えるのが厄介らしいと。
Well, there are a lot
教
of
育現場
students.
では嘆かれることも多い。
There are a lot of students who can't understand that 0. I'd assume that's meant to be 0. Either 0.999 or 0.9 reoccurring is equal to 1. The teachers hate teaching it because so many students refuse to accept it.
循環小数 0.999 で
Yeah, how could it be? Yeah.
要は無限に9は続く数字ですよね。これって1と等しいんですか？
0.999 is a number with an infinite number of 9s, right? Is it really equal to 1? Yeah, but no, I can see how that works in this case here. What's a good example of something? Well, I suppose you could look at you could do y equals 1 over x, and you're always going to have a line where there's an asymptote to it, and there's always going to be a line that it can't possibly equal. I mean, it will approach it, but I don't know whether it will actually equal it. And And I mean, when you differentiate with first principles as well, when you do the limit from when h becomes 0, to be honest, these aren't really the things I paid attention the most to. Like, I just care about how to differentiate from a first principle. I don't really care about all of the limit stuff. But the thing that's really weird is once you've finished your differentiation for first principle, you completely remove h. You just assume that it has tended towards 0. Which is a bit weird. I don't really know. Yeah, but it can't be. I
10
mean,
解析は複雑だけど、分数を使って考えれば比較的理解は容易だ。例えば、
yeah, but then again, that is actually a good point. Yeah.
0.333だよな。
Oh, yeah, I like this. Yeah, the theory behind it is kind of complicated, but it's not hard to understand intuitively with fractions. For example, 1/3 is 0.333, but then you times that by 3, and yeah, you get 1.
はい。
Yes.
それなら3分の2イコ
Yep.
ール当然 0.666 となる。だったら3分の1の両辺を3倍にしたとしたら3分の3イコール 0.999 となると考えられる。
This is such a weird concept. And then if we multiply a third by 3, 3/3 equals 0.999. That should make sense.
え
Yeah, exactly.
確かにそうですけど変ですよそれ。だって3分の3イコール1だから。
Let's see what happens if I search it up. Yeah, so let me just read this because I wanted to look into this. Okay, I never really thought I'd be studying maths here. Right, okay, so you get the derivative of a gradient function here. And this is just another way of doing it. I don't really know when you'd use first principle differentiation apart from if the exam asked you to, but yeah. I don't know if there's any use outside of that, but yeah, it's not anything we've done if there is. So, right. Yeah, but as h tends to 0, so it never actually becomes 0, but it tends to 0. Where's this? Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to read. Yeah, but as it tends to 0. So then you solve it assuming that h is 0 and that everything is undefined. Yeah, that's interesting. It is interesting that I do wonder how this works, because I mean I know how to do it, but if I'm going to be honest, I don't really understand this h concept much. Because h equals 0 means all of this is undefined. Let's see if I can... Yeah. Yeah, so this is just easy stuff. But the thing that's just really odd is that this actually works. They just cancel h out, yeah. You say that h equals 0. Yeah, just dy by dx. But, yep, I've seen this. Ah, fuck that, yeah. Yeah. No, I will look into that more because I don't understand that fully. This is fucking weird though, because it's true. Oh my god, huh? I guess so. That's really strange. 3/3 is supposed to be 1.
どこからおかしいか考えてみればいい。
Nothing was though. That's so weird.
どこから
I never thought about it, but yeah.
と
What part was wrong?
考えても無駄だ。
Yeah, genuinely. You won't be able to come up with anything. There was no mistake.
3分の1イコール 0.333。これを受け入れるのならば、
fair.
必然として3分の3イコール 0.999 を受け入れなければならない。
This is the weirdest thing, because if you accept that 1/3 times 3 equals 1, then what is truly the value of 1/3? Because if you're saying that 0.9 reoccurring doesn't equal 1, what could the value of 1/3 be? If you accept that 1/3 equals 0.3 reoccurring, then you have to accept that 3/3 is 0.9 reoccurring. Yeah.
だとしたら3分の3イコール1である事実と3分の3イコール
I totally see that, yeah.
が無矛盾になるためにはたった一つの事実を受け入れれば問題ない。
Then the
そ
only
れこ
way...
そ循環小数 0.999 は1と等しい。
And the only way to solve the contradiction of 3/3 being equal to both 1 and 0.9 reoccurring is to accept one simple thing, that 0.999 is equal to 1. Yeah, but this is really weird. I do wonder how this is taken in this circle stretching theory. But the thing is, I do wonder, I mean, it's as if the line just tends... Oh, yeah, here's a... Could I say that? Yeah, no, I think I could. Wait, let me just do a calculation in my head. So yeah, totally. Yeah, so you could just say that the gradient here is 0, but the thing is, you could say maybe it tends to 0, but it never actually becomes 0. But then you could just say that it does because of some sort of proof. I don't know.
つまり循環小数 0.999 は1よりほんの少し小さい何者かではなく1そのものだ。
In other words, the
無限を
repeating...
捉えるということはそういうものだ。
In other words, the repeating decimal 0.999 is in fact not slightly smaller than 1, but actually identical to it. That's what infinity means.
さっきのクザーノスの無限の円の曲線は直線になるっていうのも円周 AB の中心点 C と直線 AB の中心点 D その距離 CD で考えれば全く同じ構造になる。
I can't believe... Do Japanese people actually say English letters when doing this? My god, their maths classrooms must be so odd. Kasanas' example of a circle follows the exact same pattern if you think of it as the distance between C and D. I love that transition. I see. Oh yeah, totally. Grades don't matter. They don't. I don't get it at all. I heard his grades weren't good, but I guess he really is smart. Dude, he's as smart as Yuki. Let's be honest here. Dude, he built a fucking website by himself. I mean, how much better can you get? And this is not in the times where AI and anything that could make your life easier. This is in, I don't know, maybe 2010, 2012. Just some time where technology... I mean, it is good, but at the same time, it must be really unfriendly for something like that. Or at least that's what I'd assume. I don't fully know that, so don't take it for granted. And besides... But it must be fucking hard to self-teach yourself programming in times like these. I mean, where would you get the resources?
今の話聞く限りちゃんとその本を理解しているじゃないですか。
Good point, yeah.
理解してないとそんな説明できませんよね。
Yeah, I would ask you. You said you didn't understand that book at all. You wouldn't be able to give that kind of explanation if you didn't understand it. That's a good point, yeah.
ああ、そうだな。
Yeah, you're right.
何がわからないのですか？
What don't you understand about it?
ああ、 そういう話は面白いと思う。さすが後世の哲学者に多大な影響を与えた数学者であり哲学者であると言われた数奇教だ。
Well, I just find that stuff really interesting. He was a cardinal, a mathematician, a philosopher, and he had a great influence on the philosophers that came after him. What is a cardinal? Right, so, yeah, apparently it's a leading dignitary of the Roman Catholic Church. And they're also nominated by the Pope and form the Sacred College, which elects succeeding popes. Interesting. Okay, I didn't really find many things on the internet, but this is quite relevant. Yeah. Is this relevant? Okay, this is a different problem, it seems. Interesting. Yeah, I just find that stuff really interesting. He was a cardinal, a mathematician, and a philosopher, and he had a great influence on the philosophers that came after him.
彼の主張には無限という領域内においては今言った無限の円の曲線は直線になるような我々有限世界における正反対が全て一致するという。
To be fair, I do kind of see that. According to him, his idea that the curvature of an infinitely large circle forms a straight line is perfectly consistent with the logic of our finite world.
"無限の前では世界にあるすべての矛盾は矛盾足りえない。
Infinity can solve any contradiction within our world.
無限の中では世界にあるすべての矛盾が矛盾ではなくなる。
Within infinity, all contradictions cease to be contradictions. Yeah, but I can kind of see that because I suppose with the example of 0.999 becoming equal to 1, I mean it can approach. But the only thing is I don't really understand how this links to infinity. So those being equal creates a contradiction. But then if you look within infinity, it's not a contradiction. I might need to just read a bit more because I'm a bit confused. Yeah, so infinity solves this contradiction because it says that 0.9 with an infinite number of 9s is the same as 1. But obviously because the human finite world doesn't allow for logic like that, it has the contradiction of these two being different. Okay, I think I get that a bit. Within infinity, all contradictions cease to be contradictions.
さて、
Yeah,
なら
yeah.
ば問題だ。
Isn't it funny when we think about it's my own invention?
彼の言いたい無限とは何だ?
So then, isn't it funny to think about the fact that Takagi was really, really dismissive and he was a bit of an arsehole to Zakuro, but then when he has something he wants to say and something he wants to explain and teach, he's fine. And isn't it funny? I really, really feel as if he is similar to how he was when he was the savior. I don't know, it just really reminds me. So then, this is the problem. Why was he so fascinated with infinity? What was the infinity that he spoke of? Yeah.
神学者なのですよ。ということは、その無限っていうのは神様なんですか?
I mean, he was a theologist. Does that mean he was talking about God?
そういうことだ。この本はつまるところ、最大者は一者である。無限であり単一であるもの。つまり、神の無限性を証明するために行われた試論だ。
That's right. This book basically says there's only one God, a single infinite being. In other words, it's a book that tried to prove that God is infinite.
ちょうど0.999が1であるよ。
Oh, yeah, yeah.
神は1であり善である。
Fair, yeah. Yeah, just like 0.999 is equal to 1. God is 1 in everything. Oh, I don't get it.
私には難しくてよくわからないのですけど、間宮君は全然理解してるじゃないですか。
And that's kind of hard for me to understand, but it seems like you understand it just fine, doesn't it?
いや、全く理解できない。
God, even he doesn't. Isn't that funny? Yeah, but the only thing is, I mean, it's easy to say stuff like this, but at the same time, seeing the actual implications and why God being representative of that one is also representative of infinity. Why is that a thing that you can link together? No, I don't understand it at all.
例えば、クザーヌスは言う。無限は一つであると。だが、それは嘘だ。
For instance, Kusanus says there's one single infinity, but that's a lie.
嘘なんですか？
It's a lie?
ああ、無限には異なる種類がある。クザーヌスから400年後にゲオルク・カントールにより発見されている。
Yeah, there are different kinds of infinities. Jorg Cantor, I have no idea how you say his first name or his second name for a matter of fact, but yeah, he discovered that 400 years after Kusanus' death.
無限にはのことがある。それは対角性論法によって証明される。
Infinity to have density. It can be proven with a diagonal argument. What's that?
クザーヌスは言う。無限なる神は一つである。だが、実際は無限には異なる種類がある。
Kusanus said that there was one infinite God, but in reality there are different kinds of infinity.
それ以前に、彼の主論自体が神の存在証明などにはならない。
It just rather proves the concept of the fact that infinity could potentially be what could explain one God existing. And more importantly, his book didn't even prove the existence of
彼
God.
が言う無限の前ではあらゆる矛盾が矛盾でなくなるという証明と
Yeah,
神
I
の
see
存
that.
在証明は全く別物だ。
His claim that all contradictions cease to become contradictions within infinity doesn't prove his claim that God exists. Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, how would you connect them together?
もっと言えば三位一体説の正当性を証明するために三角形を
And he used a triangle to prove the justice of the Trinity. I can't follow his explanation. No, I don't blame her. He was a theologist and a mathematician, and he tried to use math to prove the existence of God. Is that right? Well, kind of, but what about infinity? Then what's a cancer? Wait, what? I don't understand. Oh no, is that how she's misinterpreting his name? Oh my god, oh no. Oh, that's hilarious. She didn't even realise that that was a name of a person. Calm down and think. First of all.
カン
Oh
トール
god.
って何ですか？何かソフトとか。あ、それはインストールか。
She's trying so hard here. What's a cancer? Is it some kind of software? Did you install it? Oh god. Oh no, he doesn't look happy. So that's why he... Oh my god, that's hilarious. What do you want? I've been trying to drive you away by going on and on about stuff you wouldn't understand. God, and I mean, obviously Zakuro doesn't understand it, but it's a bit rude of you to assume that she wouldn't understand it. That's hilarious. And yet you still keep trying to continue the conversation. Do you mind if I sit next to you? Yes, I do. Oh, he rejected me just like that, but I won't give up. Then what about across from you? You might as well just be talking to this wall here. Okay, I actually want to look at what the diagonal, what's it exactly called? The diagonal argument. What is this? Right, okay, here we go. I've found something here. Oh. It's unusual. Oh, that's really unusual. This proves that real numbers are uncountable. See if we can get anything simple here. Yeah, that is weird. It's interesting how that proves that there are multiple infinities as well. Yeah, God, I'm kind of similar to Takuji. I mean, I don't really understand how that's the case. If you guys could give me an explanation, I'd really be appreciative of it, because I didn't really understand that much there. But, yeah, no, it is really quite something. Don't sit across from me either. That's even worse. Then how about behind you? Yeah, totally. She is so obsessive. Are you gonna stare at my back? That would be creepy. Huh? You don't mind? I find it really quite funny to think about the fact that Zakuro has to try very hard in order to maintain the state of this relationship. Because, I mean, or not even the relationship, just the bond that they had. She needs to try so hard, because if it doesn't happen, there's no way Takuji is going to want to know whatsoever. He's just going to distance himself more. And this is what Zakuro's trying to do, trying to prevent that distancing. Of course I mind. That's even worse than the others. Do you really want nothing to do with me? Agreed, yeah, but then again, he didn't necessarily say that he did. You really are a stubborn woman. God, you never would have thought somebody like Zakuro would be doing this. I mean, if anything, I think this properly shows how much she's developed as a character, and just how brilliantly she's become in this month. Just in this month. Not even halfway through as well. I'm sorry. I just wanted to know more about you. Why do you need to know more about me? I don't need a reason just to learn about you, do I? Well, then again, I mean, he did say that the fact that he was interested in people like Kasanos, so it was just interesting in seeing the thoughts that shaped philosophy, I'd assume. And besides, why are you reading a book you don't like? Oh, he's totally lying. Yeah, I don't read books I don't like.
嘘です。さっき言ってました。私がその本面白いですかって聞いたら、全然って。
That's a lie. Earlier, when I asked if you were having fun reading that book, you said not at all. When he used a much stronger tone than before, Mamiya-kun looked surprised for a moment and then he laughed.
変な女だな。
No, yeah. I can see why you think that. You're a strange woman. Why are you talking to me why are you taking me so seriously? Mamiya-kun looked up to the sky.
そうだな。最後に他の人間に話すのもいいかもしれないな。
Huh? Alright, it might be nice to talk to someone at the end.
最後にって何ですか？
Yeah, what does he mean?
間宮君転校とかしちゃうとかですか？
Isn't it interesting just how dead and how destroyed he looks at the end? Are you going to transfer to a different school? The only thing that we haven't been shown is that conversation with Takuji and Hasaki. That first conversation we saw. Obviously, then Zakuro left.
いや、転校なんてしないさ。
Well, let's hope he's not suiciding. No, I'm not transferring.
じゃあ
Then... Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, he shouldn't say the end like that. It sounds like he's sick or he's going to commit suicide. He shouldn't say that.
安心しろ。マミやタクジは死にはしない。多分
That's
お
unusual.
前が会いたいと思えばいつでも会えると思うし、今の俺よりずっと優しいだろう。
Don't worry, Mamiya Takuji won't die. You'll probably be able to meet him anytime you want. And he'll probably be much kinder than I am as well, and I am
だか
now.
ら基本的には悪いことは何もないさ。
I just don't really understand why he knows this is going to happen and why somebody as ridiculously powerful as him has no control over it at all. I mean, you would have thought as somebody so physically strong, maybe he'd be able to have control about what's going to happen with his literal personality, but no, it seems not, which is very odd. So nothing bad is going to happen.
それ意味がわかりません。というか
I don't understand what you mean, or rather,
間宮君はわからないことだらけです。
relatable. I don't understand anything about you.
俺はわからないことだらけか。
You don't, huh?
はい。なんか会うたびに印象が違い
Exactly, yeah.
すぎます。
Yes, you leave me with a different impression every time we meet.
印象が違うか。そうだな。
A different impression, huh? I guess so.
はい。いくらなんでもその時々によって
I
性
agree.
格や趣味、行動、考えられる限りの全てが違いすぎます。
Yeah, your personality, your hobbies, your actions, everything about you changes, yeah, too much from time to time.
そうだな。
He's not saying anything!
そういえば、ロクサーヌが知っていたクリスチャンは一人に見せかけて実際は姿はクリスチャン、知性はシラヌ。
Now that I think about it, the Christian that Roxanne knew looked like one person. But in reality had the body of Christian and the mind of Cyrano. That's quite interesting, yeah.
彼は一人ではなく二人の人
Yeah,
間によ
no,
って
no,
演
no,
じ
no,
ら
I
れて
can't
い
see
ま
that.
した。
And it is interesting that it's as if Takuji looks a bit provoked by that. He wasn't one person. He was acted out by two different people. Yeah,
知性
yeah,
を兼ね
reasonable.
備えた絶世の美女であるロクサーヌには美貌だけのクリスチャンだけでも知性だけのシラノだけでもその
But the
恋
only
を
thing-
成就させることは不可能だった。
the thing that I find really interesting about this analogy, if you substitute Christian and Cyrano for Takuji, obviously, then who is Roxanne? Because Takuji would be somebody who is trying hard. No, sorry. Well, then again, I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter about Takuji trying, because he's not trying to start this relationship. But then again, this is the thing about Takuji. How do we know that he's not already in a relationship with Yuki? Could you imagine if he was? But to be fair, that hasn't happened with any other stories, so I doubt that's the case. I really do wonder what's going to happen with Yuki in general and what she knows about Takuji. Because I think we've seen from everything that goes on in Chapter 2 that it was as if the first time she spoke to the sewer Takuji, it was as if she never ever knew him. But the weirdest thing about that is that these people clearly know each other, so it may be possible to infer that Yuki knows more than one personality of Takuji. I wonder how that changes her view on him. And same for Hasaki and Tomosane as well. Cyrano de Bergerac, huh?
僕たちはただ名ばかりでシャボン玉のように膨らんでしまった。そんな空想の恋人に恋焦がれている。
Oh, that's interesting. I remember an analogy from that. Oh, we have our pockets full. My lady loves phantasms of our brain. Dream fancies blown into soap bubbles. Come, take it and change.
この空想を、そして本物に変えるのは君だ。
Find love words into true.
僕は恋の嘆きとか書き散らかしたけど、さまよう鳥の止まるのを君は見ることができる人なんだ。
I breathe my sighs and moans, Haphazard wise. Call all these wandering lovebirds home to nest.
さあ、鳥たまえ。実はないだけ雄弁だと。
Come, take it. You'll see that I was in these lettered lines.
君にもわかる日が来るから。
Eloquent all the more, the less sincere.
暗唱までできるぐらい読み込んだのか。
Yeah, totally. It's ridiculous dedication. So you read it enough times to recite it from memory.
はい。何度も読みました。
Yes, I read it over and over.
なんでそれほど同じ本を読み込んだんだ。
Why would you read the same book so many times? I agree,
間
yeah.
宮君だって何度も読んだんでしょ。
You read it over and over too, didn't you?
だから私、間宮君が何を思ってこの本を好きだと言ってたか知りたくて。
So I wanted to find out what you were really thinking when you said you liked this book.
なるほど。間宮拓司が何を思って
He thought, oh my
シラ
god,
ノロ
that's
ベルジュレ
weird.
ックを読んだのか知りたくて。
God, this is odd.
自分も何度も読み直したというわけか。
How the fuck are these the same people? I see. So you want to know what he thought when he read Cyrano de Bergerac? So I've read it over and over, huh?
それで、お前はシラノを読んで何を思った？
And when you read Cyrano, what did you think?
いろいろなことを思いました。でも、
Yeah,
なん
totally.
だかすごく間宮君に当てはまることというか、重なる部分がありました。
I thought a lot of things, but there are a ton of things that applied to you. Yeah, or rather where you overlap. Yeah, or rather places where you overlap with the text.
重なる部分か。なるほど。それはどんなことだ？
Okay, overlapped, huh? Okay, for instance, what?
空想を形にしたのは二人の男の子。 ロクサーヌが愛したのはその空想の一人の男の子。
There were two men who changed fine love words into true. There was the one imaginary man who Roxanne loved. Just wanna... This is so unusual. Yeah, but I find that really funny. Obviously, it's the case that the Takuji that Zakuro knew had multiple personalities, multiple minds. And when I say multiple minds, I do quite literally mean that. He has multiple interests, multiple personalities, multiple headspaces. It's just so odd and weird, and it makes no sense whatsoever. That is interesting. I do wonder if you could turn that analogy around. Maybe you could say that, I don't know, Kimika and Zakuro could fit into this analogy, and then obviously, I suppose you could think about Kimika being the person who drives Zakuro to begin this relationship, really. I mean, obviously it was something she did first, and it was something that she obviously begun herself, but then Kimika was the one who was encouraging it to begin, and it was very interesting to see Kimika's sad look as well. She just feels as if Zakuro's being manipulated, and she's just going deeper into the trap, I feel. Very ambiguous text. It's really, really open to interpretation. Just like Subarashiki Hibi, obviously. Yeah, no, I find it really quite funny what's happening here, because it kind of is as if Zakuro's trying to take fake promises of love and fake... Well, no, Takuji never really promised anything relating to love, but at the same time, I mean, take the promise and... Well, not really take the promise, sorry, Well, it's as if she has the knowledge and she has the increased determination to begin this relationship and properly make it into something. So you've got to take your drive and then you've got to use that in order to change. To be honest, I mean, I suppose you've got to change. Maybe you could think about it like this. Zakuro's feelings to begin with the love, they were all really infatuated feelings. But maybe they weren't particularly true feelings. By doing this and by doing everything you can to fight for the relationship, you prove that you have true feelings for it. So I do wonder if you could argue that. Yeah, you've definitely read it over and over so many times that you don't even know that you have done. Jesus Christ. Yeah, very odd. Yeah, no, totally. There were two men who changed fine love words into true. It was the one imaginary man who Roxanne loved.
それがどのようにマミやタクジという存在と重なった？
And how did that overlap with Mamiya Takuji?
もしかして間宮くんって双子さんだったりするんですか？
Do you have a twin, Mamiya-kun? No, what? A twin?
漫画とかであるじゃないですか。影武者みたいな人。
Oh my god, I hate that I actually can think of an example of this.
だったり、そっくりさんだったりとか。
Nope, I can think of two. That happens sometimes in manga, right? It seems like there's someone who looks exactly like someone else and it turns out that it's the person's twin, for instance. Yeah, I think you were thinking on the wrong lines.
なるほどね。
God, seeing him smile, that's rare.
マミやタクジは双子である説か。
I see. A twin, huh? So your theory is that Mamiya Takuji has a twin.
でも。
Oh, but... Yeah, the Mamiya-kun I met underground was completely different too. So that would make 3 of them.
すみません。訂正します。
Excuse me, I want to revise my theory.
どんな訂正だ？
How so?
三つ子ですか？それか本物一人に影武者さんが
Yeah,
2
it's
人い
really
ると
hard to
か。
tell. I think that's totally ridiculous. I think it's some sort of trauma and multiple personalities as a result of that. I mean, we saw in It's My Own Invention how ridiculously disturbed Takuji became when Zakuro died. Yeah, and I'm sorry, but that's not normal. There is nothing that can ever tell me something like that is normal. I just find it seriously weird how different Takuji's thought processes differ, how different Takuji's thought processes are, because there what happens, he can't think one thing. He tries to think something, and then, oh, there's just that one little distraction, boom, your thoughts go off on another tangent, and then, oh, you find one little thing, it might be so subtle, but yeah, still, that's going to get you distracted from your thought. There's going to be no productivity because you simply can't do it within the state of your mind. But the thing that's really interesting about that, if you ask me, is that it shows that he's properly traumatized about something. But it's so weird how this Takuji and, for example, the other Takuji who reads, I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're trying to translate a book from French and you're trying your hardest to learn a language as well as reading a story and immersing yourself in the story, there's no way you would have thoughts like that. I don't believe a Takuji like this would either. 2 triplets? Or maybe there's one real Mamiya-kun and 2 lookalikes.
なるほどね。三つ子で影武者か。そうすれば結構学校休んだりできて便利だな。
He has a really good point, yeah. Alright, triplets or 2 lookalikes. That'd be pretty convenient, wouldn't it? It'd make it really easy to skip skill.
その言い方、もしかして全然間違ってますか？私。
Isn't it interesting that she's taking Cyrano and she's using that in order to try and analyze Takuji's character? It's as if there were multiple people who are trying to contribute to the same overall person. Are you saying I'm completely wrong?
どうだろう。わりかしいい線いってるんじゃないか。
Who knows? Maybe you're on the right track?
なるほど。美女であるロクサーヌに近づくためには2つの人格が必要だった。美貌と知性。
Okay then, in order to get closer to the beautiful woman Roxanne, they needed 2 personalities, one who was handsome and one who was intelligent.
そうか。なんかを前に言われて、なんとなく納得した。なぜあいつが白野を好んで読んでいたのか。
I think you've convinced me.
分かったような気がする。
I think I can now understand why she loved reading Cyrano so much.
あいつ？
Hasaki?
そうだな。俺もあいつも。そしてマミやタクジも。何かを成し遂げるために必要だったのかもしれない。
Isn't it interesting just these moments where Takuji's reflecting and he is thinking about nothing other than himself and whatever this is, and isn't it interesting? I think there is definitely a lot of tragedy involved, whatever it is. That's right, me and her, and finally Mamiya Takuji. Maybe it was necessary for us to accomplish something.
何かを成し遂げる。
To accomplish something? Accomplish something. So Mamiyaku needed a body double to accomplish something. In other words, there's more than one Mamiyaku. But not in terms of physical bodies, I don't think. That must be it.
間宮君ってそれぞれ名前とか違うんですか？
Mamiyaku, do you all have different names? He didn't answer. He just looked at my face.
今日の間宮君のお名前教えていただけませんか？
Would you tell me the name of today's Mamiyaku?
それはできない相談だな。
Can't do that.
なぜですか？私は今の間宮君の本当の名前が知りたいです。
Wow, I want to know your real name.
本当の名か。
My real name, huh?
暗唱できるまで読み込んだ高島に聞きたいが、例えば クリスチャンの知性を演じていたシラノは自らが何であるかロクサーヌが知ることを望んだか。
That's really interesting. I see that, yeah. Yeah, that is a very good point. Let me ask you this, since you read Cyrano so many times you can recite it from memory. Did Cyrano, who acted as Christian's mind, wish for Roxanne to know who he was? Yeah, no, that's totally reasonable, yeah.
シラノの死の瞬間にロクサーヌはシラノがクリスチャンの知性を演じていたことを知る。ただそれは突発的なもの、事故のようなものだ。
Shit, yeah. When Cyrano dies, Roxanne found out that he had been the source of Christian's wit, but it was completely unexpected. It was like an accident.
死の瞬間までそれを隠し通したシラノは果たして自らの存在を彼女に知られたいと思ったのだろうか。
This is very unusual music. Cyrano hid it until the moment of his death. Did he wish for Roxanne to find out who he really was? Yeah, but no, that is a reasonable question. I mean, whatever Takuji is hiding here, it's something that's ridiculously personal and something that he finds very, very hard to deal with, I'd assume. Even with somebody as tough as this, it seems like such a big problem. But the thing is, yeah, why does he need to tell people? I mean, even his lover, it's really surprising. Well, potential lover. Yeah. Did Cyrano wish for it? No. I slowly recalled Cyrano de Bergerac's plot. Christian and Cyrano both love Roxanne. They work together to act out a single person and attract the attention of Roxanne. Yeah, but since Christian acted as the pair's outward appearance, he was the one who Roxanne fell in love with. Yeah, no, I can see that, yeah. It's only natural. Intelligence has no physical form, whereas a handsome face does. It's brutal, but it's true. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, no, I can see that. People don't fall in love with shapeless ideas, but rather physical people. Roxanne couldn't love Cyrano's immaterial intelligence. Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah, she could only love Cyrano's intelligence when it was given the form of Christian's outward appearance. I see that, yeah. Yeah, reasonable, yeah. Cyrano himself is immaterial. That's why Roxanne fell in love with Christian, not Cyrano. Yeah, no, I see that, yeah, so Cyrano had to play the fool in front of Roxanne. Cyrano could never be anything to Roxanne. It's brutal. It is so brutal. Yeah, even after Christian had died. He had to keep playing the fool in front of Roxanne. Oh, I breathe my sighs and mine's hazard wise. Call all these wandering lovebirds home to nest. I kind of like how you can reinterpret that now, because I suppose, yeah, you call the wandering lovebirds home to nest because they won't really have a potential to, well, to announce a love much again. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can make sense of that. There's a deep significance to those words. Oh, right. The person who dreams and the person who acts. The fantasy is ended by action. Yeah, fantasy can exist only in its unfulfillment. Our Lady loves the phantasms of our brains. Dream fancies blown into soap bubbles. It is the lover of our fantasy that we fall in love with. Yeah. Cyrano's love was fantasy only because it was unfulfilled. Christian's death is irrelevant.
シラノはクリスチャンが死んだ後もずっと自分がクリスチャンの知性の人格を受け持っていたことをロクサーナには伝えなかった。
Even after Christian died, Cyrano never told Roxanne that he had acted as Christian's wit.
でもそれもクリスチャンが最初に読み上げた恋文。
God, yeah.
実際は最初にシラノが読み上げた恋文を彼女の目の前で読み上げた時にバレてしまう。
But the truth was revealed when Cyrano read Christian's farewell letter in front of her. Though in truth, it was Cyrano's farewell letter.
ロクサーナはその時の恋文を読み上げる声をちゃんと覚えていた。
Roxanne remembered his voice reading the letters.
でもシラノは自らの存在を否定した。
Oh, that's unusual.
自分がクリスチャンの知性であったことを。
But Cyrano denied his own existence. He denied that he had been Christian's intelligence.
そうだ。高島はそれをどう考える？
That's right. What do you think of that, Takashima? Cyrano's feelings. Maybe he didn't... Yeah, maybe he really didn't want Roxanne to find out his true identity. Yeah. He definitely acted to keep it secret from her. Agreed, yeah. Yeah, he always kept it hidden from her. Yeah, isn't it an ironic link? Mamiya-kun compared Cyrano to himself. That's the only one thing he could possibly mean by that.
とりあえず聞きません。
Alright, I won't ask anymore. That was definitely not something I was
た
expecting.
だし今はです。
Makes more sense now. For now, at least.
今はね。
For now, huh?
はい今はです。
Yes, just for now.
何がおかしいんですか？
What's funny?
いや、笑うだろう。俺の知って
Oh,
いる
yeah,
高
yeah.
島は
No,
そ
no,
う
no,
ではなかっ
totally.
た。
I agree.
変わったな、お前。
No, it really is funny. The Takashima I knew wasn't like that. You've just 100%. I was so happy to see. I'm just really, really happy to see her change, if I'm going to be honest. It's just really inspiring. I mean, you just see somebody at the worst point of their life, somebody who is totally a plaything for Megu and Satoko and just any abuse in general, somebody who has never really been confident, who has been, let's be honest, just insecure about her lack of confidence, and her really, really making something of her life now. Because she can. That's the thing.
そんな変わりましたか？
Have I changed that much?
ああ、前と全然違う。
Yeah,
おどお
yeah,
どしていたあ
totally.
の頃の高島からじゃ想像もできない。
Yeah, you're completely different from before. I never would have imagined you acting like this after seeing the way you were always so scared before.
そうかもしれませんね。
Yeah, no, I suppose.
でも間宮君に会うときはおどおどだけではありませんでした。
Maybe so, but it's not like I was scared when I was talking to you.
おどおどだけじゃなかった？
You weren't.
はいドキドキもしてました。
I was nervous.
なんだそりゃ。
Really?
はい私はいつでも ここに来るの楽しみにしてましたよ。
Yes, I always look forward to
間
coming
宮
here
君
and
に会え
talking
るん
to
です
you.
から。
なるほど。それは良かったな。
I see. Glad to hear it.
何ですかそれ。私は間宮君に言ってるんですよ。
What's with your reaction? I'm saying it to you.
そうだな。そうなるんだろうな。
Oh, really? I guess you are.
だから今は聞きませんけど、
Yeah.
いつか教えてください。
So, for now, I won't ask any more, but please tell me someday.
いつかか。なるほど。
Someday, huh? I see.
なるほどじゃなくて、教えてください。
Imagine if it's Tomo-san Yuki. What do you mean, you see? Please just tell me your name. Mamiya-kun was silent.
そういえば何かを成し遂げるって言ってましたよね、間宮君。
Now that I think of it, you said there was something you had to accomplish, didn't you?
あ、そうだ。
Yeah, no, I do wonder what that was. Yeah, I did.
それってどういう意味なんですか？
What did you mean by that?
一人では成し遂げられないから、いくつもの姿を持つ。
That's weird.
そういうことだ。
It's something that can't be done alone. So we took on multiple forms. What? That's all.
シラノの話ですか？
Are you talking about Cyrano?
いや、神様の話さ。
No, I'm talking about God.
神？
What? God?
神は三位一体の形をとる。クザーノスはそれを三角形が最も小さい最小の多角形だからであるという。
God takes the form of the Trinity. Xana said that was because the triangle was the smallest polygon.
クザーヌスってさっき間宮君が読んでた本ですよね。
Xanas, that's the book you were reading, right?
そうだ。彼は三角形とはあらゆる多角形の要素となりうる最小のもの。つまり
Oh yeah, no, I
1 で
see
あると
that,
考
yeah.
える。
That's right. He said the triangle was the smallest constituent element of all other polygons. In other words, it is one. Oh yeah, I like that, yeah.
神が三位一体となるのはそれが最小であるからであり、彼の説を取るならば最小とはすなわち無限の意味。
God is the Trinity because the triangle is the smallest. According to his theory, the smallest is equal to infinity.
「神ですら何かを成し得るのに3つの姿を必要としたんだ。人間が何か成し得るのなら言わずもがな。
Even God needed 3 forms to accomplish something, so naturally so do humans.
創造、調和、再生。人も
Oh
また
shit, that's
それぞれ
interesting.
の姿を必要とする。
Right, there's dialogue that totally changes now. Creation, harmony, rebirth. Humans also need each form.
それってキリスト教の神様ですか？
Are you talking about the Christian God?
いや、これは個人的なことだ。キリスト教の神にそんな威嚇はない。
No, that's a personal matter. The Christian God doesn't have a privileged position.
威嚇？
Privileged position?
威嚇だ。まあ、どうでもいいことだが。
He's not privileged over others. Well, that's not important. Ah. Oh.
ほら、昼休みも終わりだ。
Look, lunchtime is over.
本当だ。
You're right.
飯、食べられなかったな。
Yeah, we didn't even get a chance to eat.
はい。なんかずっと話していたら終わって
God,
ま
what
し
a
た。
conversation. We were talking the whole time.
ほらよ。
Here. Oh. He threw some bread at me.
やるよ。
You can have that.
でも
That's hilarious. He quite literally threw bread at her. But
いいから取っておけよ。
he'll be fine. Just take it. God, prioritizing her over himself.
あの
なんだ。
What?
あの
Oh
最後
my
って言
god,
葉の
yeah.
意味
What did you mean by the end?
意味なんてない。忘れろ。
He's being so dismissive. That's interesting. I didn't mean anything. Forget about it.
明日も同じ。普通の平穏な日常だ。んじゃな、高島ザクロ。
Weird. Tomorrow will be the same. A normal, peaceful day. See you, Takashima Zakuro. Sure. How odd. Yeah, reasonable. Yeah, a peaceful day. A normal day. It seems like I haven't had one of those in a long time. Lately, I haven't been able to take anything for granted. It's just how we've been living recently. Yeah, no, I see that.
あのさ間宮君
Hey, Mamiyaku.
なんだ。
Oh, she's
平
still
穏な
going.
日常になっても仲良くして
God,
く
I
れ
hope so. Yeah, will you still be friends with me? Even if our days are peaceful? Interesting that he can't answer that. He looked troubled for a moment, and then he said,
当たり前だ。気が向いたらいつでもここに来ればいいさ。いつでも相手をしてくれるさ。
Come here anytime you want. I couldn't hear the last words he said. But I think he would be pretty happy to talk to me anytime. Weird. What the genuine fuck? What a discrepancy. Wow, that just feels wrong. Oh my fucking god. Right, okay, I'm really tired at the moment. We're going to analyse the fuck out of what we have just read. And we're going to look at how it relates to Yuki's final scene. But yeah, obviously, firstly, I need to... Oh, I'm already just thinking about how it will change. Anyway, I'm just going to have a nap. I'll probably wake up at 1 and then I'll read a bit. I really, really want to see how this is going to develop because this seems like it's got a seriously interesting premise to it. Wow. Okay, right, we're back now. Just got to be a bit quiet because it's really late. Well, it's late to be going to bed, but it's early in the morning, obviously. So, yeah, I just want to reread and try to make sense of everything that we've just read before. There's so many things that are really, really interesting about this. So, yeah, I'll just pick out everything that's really odd. Yeah, isn't it really quite funny that Takagi is just subtly saying about the fact that Zakuro is beautiful here, which, I mean, fair dues. But, yeah, the funny thing is... No, but it is really quite funny to think about the fact that it's as if Takagi really is the one who is... Oh, I don't know. The one who you could attribute to, I suppose, Christian, if you like. I suppose you could think the handsome one was the person who was always really enthusiastic in books, and then the intelligent one is the one that we're seeing at the moment. Yeah, she. I mean, I don't really understand which girl would be in Takagi's life other than Hasaki. So that means Hasaki might be a reader as well. And that does kind of make sense considering the amount of books that... I mean, I know that Takagi has a lot of books in his room, but yeah, there's got to be a lot more. Or maybe some of his books are read by Zakuro, who knows. Yeah, but that is so weird just to think about the fact that he doesn't fully feel himself. He doesn't fully think of himself as Mamiya Takuji, and there's a lot of secrecy involved in this because we don't know his true name. We genuinely don't, and I don't know if we ever will, to be honest. Yeah, but isn't that interesting to accomplish something? Well, I suppose Takuji's he hasn't really ever had many friends, so I suppose making a friend and actually establishing connections, that's really something meaningful. It is interesting to think about the fact that one Mamiya Takuji couldn't solve something. There has to be two. It's very odd. It's interesting that he never answers with regards to the names. Never. To be honest, I get that Zakuro's curious, but I think she's prying too much. Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's really interesting. I do wonder if this behaviour here is going to reflect Takuji. But what I find really interesting about this is yeah, so it's really interesting. So it's as if like in Cyrano there is a Takuji that has been behind the Takuji that's... Well, no, there are two blatantly different ones, and we've seen two blatantly different ones. So I suppose the Takuji that was there before, this Takuji here is as if he is the intelligent one and he is the one behind the thought process of that other Takuji, which is really odd. But the only thing is, at the same time, that he's saying that he doesn't want Zakuro to be able to know who this other Takuji that has probably made up the thoughts. Well, not really. The thoughts of the Takuji that Zakuro first met. Maybe he's the basis of all of these thoughts, but he has a different identity. He feels as if he has a different identity entirely. And I do wonder if his name is different, because I think that just gives me more of the multiple personality vibes if that's the case. No, but he didn't, totally. Yeah, but I love this because it is exactly the same case. I mean, these multiple Takujis, they are acting as a single person. There's no denying it. And interesting that it says that they're working together as well. But the only thing is, I can kind of see that because there's one person who's not interested whatsoever, but the other is the most interested, and he's the most normal and most ideal for a relationship. So of course the relationship is going to develop easily, because you're going to get Zakuro being really, really clingy because she likes the Takuji that's really interested, so she's going to be able to win over the Takuji that isn't interested. Yeah, no, that's really interesting. Yeah, but this is the brutal thing. I totally agree with this. Yeah. totally. Yeah, no, I totally see that, yeah. Yeah, but that's so interesting. So I really do wonder if you take this to Mamiya Takuji level, you could think maybe it's the case that with Takuji, there's going to be one Takuji that is never ever discovered, and the Takuji behind all of the thought processes that has led Takuji to acting like how he does. That one is never going to be found out. I do wonder which one it is. I do wonder if it's this one or if it's the other one. I mean, instinct would say it's this one, but I don't know. I do wonder how he's going to be after July the 11th. That will help. Oh. It's just such a brutal way of the world, but it works. It really, really does. It's such a relevant analogy. Oh yeah, no, I see that, yeah. Yeah, that's totally reasonable. So, I wonder which Takuji could dream and which one could act. Because the thing is, it's a bit hard to put that towards the analogy, because this Takuji isn't exactly acting. If anything, he's trying his hardest to pull himself away from Zakuro. But I think when he realises that Zakuro won't go, and obviously that he's not gonna be benefited if he just completely ignores her. I suppose he technically is acting by being interested in talking to her and becoming so personally related as well, can I mention. But I suppose the other Takuji, he does dream, but the only thing is, we could have never gotten closer to him, because it would be impossible to understand him. I mean, look at just how varied he is, especially with the sewer Takuji as well. Yeah, no, I see that. Because love is just a fantasy that is absolutely impossible to occur until the other Takuji acts and Zakuro gains further understanding, I think. Yeah, but no, this is so well put, but I kind of see what Zakuro's trying to say here, because if you love someone, I suppose you're really, really engaged in the fantasy of getting with them. So I suppose I do wonder if you could simplify it to you're in love with the idea of falling in love with someone. And you're in love of a reality which at the moment is a fantasy that needs to be made true. And it's made true by obviously a relationship happening and both sides doing their best to continue said relationship. Yeah, but no. I do see this. And Zakuro's love would have been fantasy beforehand, totally. Look at any time she suicided, it would have been then. And also look at this, I'd assume in the other ending she suicides. Oh, the other ending's going to be so fucking cool. Isn't it interesting that all of the delusional characters on the picture that announces the next day, they all go? Isn't that ironic? What happens when they don't go, I wonder? Well, yeah, we're not reading past July the 12th, I don't think. Yeah, but I do see that. Yeah, but I suppose you could think you're not even in love with a person, you're in love with the idea of you becoming... of the fantasy of you becoming acquainted with them. It's an interesting little thought there. Yeah, interesting. I do wonder if this is going to be similar to what Takagi is going to do. So even after Takagi's personality ended, he's never going to tell Zakuro who truly is behind it. The only thing is, obviously, this differs significantly because there's a high chance that Takagi and Zakuro are going to get together. If they don't, I suppose it's even more relevant, this analogy. Yeah. That's so interesting, yeah. Yeah, this is really interesting. Yeah, but the only thing is, I mean, it's as if when... I don't really understand. I hope that Takagi doesn't die, but at the same time I find it interesting that initially the truth is never going to be told, and Takagi is never going to be the one to tell Zakuro. Maybe she's going to have to discover it herself somehow. Yeah, and that is so interesting to think about the fact that in this case, Serena denies his own existence. The only thing you have is the result of the love that Christian has. Even though it's the love that he totally caused, it was still a result of... it was still a result of him. What's so interesting about that is... yeah, so... I suppose the result of the love was caused by him, but obviously he was not the one who had the result of love occur. So I can see why you would think this. Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, because I suppose Serenai's voice is not the one that's remembered here. It's Christian. All of it is Christian. The memories that are attributed to his intelligence don't belong to him. It's really sad, but yeah, that's how it goes. So it's as if Takagi is going to totally deny the fact that someone has been the intelligence that has led him up to this point, I think. Yeah. Yeah, reasonable. Interesting. And it is interesting. I do wonder why Zakuro would want... What would happen if Zakuro knew the truth behind Mamiya Takuji? Well, it would probably get a lot more tragic. But, yeah. He sounds so exasperated. I love it. Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's so pleasant to just realise the extent to which Zakuro has changed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, she's graduated from being Megu and Satoko's sheep. And she's making her own way in the world now. And it's so, so happy to see. Yeah. No, he sounds so neutral.
なるほど。それは良かったな。
Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, I really like this because it's as if Zakuro is talking to the other Takuji. I don't really know which one. I'd say that is the Christian in this relationship. And yeah, as a result of that, Takuji just feels really, really neutral because it's as if Zakuro is talking to somebody who isn't him. Even though they have the same name and the same body and the same everything, apart from mind. It's as if they are the same person. It's as if they are different people, and she is talking to another person here, because she's not mentioning this Takuji, she's mentioning the other Takuji. This is something Zakuro probably should know if they ever have a relationship with more trust that's needed. Because obviously in a relationship that's good, people are honest and are truthful with each other. This is so well written, I love this analogy. They really did choose the perfect plot to compare this to. What is the... Yeah, what? I mean, this just sounds so weird. Especially this. So one Takuji alone can't accomplish whatever this is. Yeah, the smallest polygon that can fit into anything. Yeah, that is really, really interesting. That's really weird if you kind of link this to Takagi. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I don't fully understand this, but at the same time, so you have a triangle, you have three forms, and I suppose because it's the most simplistic element and it's easiest to put into anything, I suppose it's saying that if you have those three forms and you can put them into anything, you can get a adequate reward from it. But I suppose if you analyse it with the relationship, you create the relationship and then obviously you harmonise it by just continuously giving your input by obviously talking to Zakuro, and then I suppose the relationship will rebirth when that other Takagi has just totally disappeared. I just find it so weird that the other Takagi has disappeared though. I don't understand why. Where has the book-loving Takagi gone? Smallest is equal. And it is interesting to think about the fact that the smallest element that can fit into anything and that can make anything up is also infinity, because I wonder if that's because there's an infinite amount of those small elements. I don't know though, I don't really get the concept of infinity here, to be honest. Yeah. He needs three forms to accomplish something, because the three forms can connect together and form a triangle, i.e. they can form something complete, and because I suppose triangles can make up anything because they're the smallest polygon, that helps because because I suppose it says that Takagi's three forms can likewise make up anything that he aspires to do. Interesting. I do wonder why Takagi feels he's privileged over others. I mean, I think physical strength, intelligence, those are just two. But how can somebody who's quite literally been, well, let's be honest, he's been, okay, I won't fully say it because it's a bit distressing, but Nishimura and Numada, what they've done to him. How can somebody who has had and an abusive mother as well, how can he be a privileged existence? Is it because he has a sister? I don't know. I mean, so many bad things have happened to him, so it's just really surprising to think that it's possible. I think that's so sweet, and to think about the fact that he totally prioritizes Zakuro's health over his own. Yeah, that's so interesting that he says nothing. Isn't it interesting how he changes?
明日も同じ普通の平穏な日常だ。んじゃな、高島ザクロ。
Isn't it interesting just how he really sounds like his other personality here? Obviously, there is a bit of a barrier, but still. Hmm.
当たり前だ。気が向いたらいつでもここに来ればいいさ。いつでも相手をしてくれるさ。
Hmm. Yeah, come meet me at any time. He would be. Right, so I'm the creator, the harmonizer, and the rebirth. I want to just look into if this has any significance in terms of what we read in It's My Own Invention. Hang on just a sec.
Yeah.
Right, okay, here we go. I couldn't really find any good moments where I paused to see the text on YouTube, so...
僕が救世主であり。
I can't believe this is the same person as who we've just been reading. Fucking hell. Isn't this interesting? Where's stuff about the harmonizer though? Pre-established harmony, what Takuji was saying. Yeah, here we are. Wait, what about what Ayana was saying? Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's as if this is the pre-established harmony that's there for, well, the pre-established... I don't get how it's pre-established. Well, he thinks that everything's determined already and that his mum is the person who has been testing him and everything, but obviously his mum is God, obviously, because when is that never the case? So, yeah, he believes that the pre-established harmony is... This is just harmony that is contributing to him becoming the saviour, I suppose. But what about Ayana? Where's that conversation? So this is not really what I was thinking about when I wanted to look about the harmonizer and stuff. Let me just try and find it. Okay, here we go. Here's the scene. Okay, this is where... Yeah, this is where Yuki is. Right, where is the stuff about the harmonizer? Yeah, okay, here we are. Yeah, this isn't exactly what I was thinking, but maybe it could have some relevance. Isn't it really interesting that this is a quote that Takuji quite readily says? Oh, that's really weird. Can I just mention with Yuki, I feel like there's a real secret side to Takuji just because of Yuki's existence that obviously the Zakuro hasn't known about whatsoever. So Yuki was originally supposed to be this deluded and this awful. Okay, yeah, maybe this is a bit different. But it's interesting that they are attributed to gods. That's so weird. Yeah. I suppose the creator does become the harmonizer of all of the delusions here, if you ask me, because it's the Takagi being able to defeat Yuki. It proves that his strength is superior and that it's impossibly improving. So I suppose it says that, and that obviously encourages his delusions along. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting, this, and I do wonder how this is going to become relevant the more we know. I don't think we know enough to understand this at the moment, but yeah. Let's see what the fuck happens here. Right, okay, so let's see what the fuck is going to happen here. Yeah, but isn't it interesting to think about the fact that he's troubled because his Takagi personality is going to end, but at the same time it's still the case that there is going to be a Takagi that that is going to be able to be friends. Just like he said, the next day was peaceful, and the day after that, and the day after that, they were all peaceful days. Oh, good for you. After that day, all the bullying stopped. Wow. Not only Akasaka-san and Kitami-san, but the rest of the class stopped looking at us so coldly as well. Yeah, good. That's what they deserve. Though Akasaka-san and Kitami-san kept avoiding us. That's really interesting. Mamiya-kun acted normally after the incident as well. One thing did bother me though. That's reasonable. Yeah, my god, so if the bullying ever if it had ever risen up again, there'd be no means of taking any defense. So they would be completely fucked. And this is the really, really bad thing, because Takuji is someone who has done so much physically to protect these people. Obviously, if Megu is still in contact with Shiroyama, a lot could happen. And Shiroyama in general, really. I mean, Zakuro has, and especially Kimika, they've done a lot to annoy Shiroyama. Well, all they've done is get the Natto bacteria and obviously give him hell for one day, but that's all it takes with a thug like that, because these people are control freaks. Oh, that's interesting. He was the kind, sociable person, the one who seemed to light up the world. And isn't it interesting that the ideal Takuji is the one that has merged out of this, that has formulated out of this situation? I find it so unusual. But I do find it interesting to think about the fact that Takuji must act as 3. What are you telling me that the sewer Takuji helps accomplish? How are you telling me he helps anything? If anything, I would have thought that he'd be the complete reverse of helping. So to be fair, we don't know what his quest is and his intentions are. But at the same time, look at, for example, the love of Zakuro. I mean, the sewer Takuji, he's a creep, a pedo. Well, no, he's not. I mean, he kind of becomes a pedo when it's my own invention, but that's not really what I'm trying to say. He's a creep, he's weird, he's really, really unsociable. he's someone that would put you off the second you met him. How would he help in the quest to get Zakuro and get a relationship with her? It really doesn't make much sense. I do wonder. He never again showed me the same expression from that night. Yeah, they're getting a relationship 100%. Actually, this happened too.
これ
Ayana
借
seem
りてた本で
interesting.
す。ありがとうございました。長い間。
This is the book I borrowed from you. Thank you very much. I shouldn't have kept it so long.
え
It's him, yeah.
そうだっけ
Wow. Huh? Oh, really?
え
Oh, huh?
いやごめん、貸してたの忘れてたみたいだ。手元にないなとは思ってたんだけどさ。
Oh, sorry. I guess I forgot that I'd lent it to you. I thought I'd lost it.
そうなんですか。
Oh, I see. Really?
ごめんね、僕って物覚え悪いか
That
ら
is
さ、
interesting.
すぐに忘れるんだよね。
Sorry, I have a really bad memory. I always forget stuff like that.
また僕なんですね。
So you're laying low again?
あ、いや。僕っていう時は猫かぶってるって。
Oh, nothing. You told me you talk like that when you're laying low.
何それ？
Huh? What are you talking about?
あ、いや。なんでもないです。
Oh no, it's nothing.
あ、そういえば他の方々、三つ子の兄弟さんたちはお元気ですか？
Oh, and what about the others? How are the other two triplets?
三つ子？
Interesting that he's entirely forgot everything that has been talked about in a previous conversation. Triplets?
三つ子なんて知り合いにいないけど、あの双子姉妹なら元気だけど。
I don't know any triplets. The twins seem to be getting along fine though. Twins? Who are they? I don't remember Mami Yakun talking about twins before.
なんかだいぶ雰囲気変わりましたね。
Yeah, but that's actually really interesting to think about the fact that twins are the things that are related to in this scenario. So it's as if there is a personality of Takagi that has been totally erased. Maybe Sewer Takagi still exists, but the Takagi who is really, really defensive and protective, the one who could be attributed to as a thug, or somebody who was a bit odd as well in the fact that he hurts people for fun. I mean, it's just interesting that him changing, it seems so good, but at the same time there is still a really, really bad side to him. So I think obviously the three personalities that he has been reduced to two. But why? And why does he willingly have this as well? Yeah. You've really changed, haven't you? Yeah, 100%. Isn't it funny that he doesn't even know, have I?
はい。
And also, isn't it interesting that the Takagi that's really, really omniscient about everything, it's as if he's totally disappeared. Yes. From the Mami Akun I last met here on the rooftop. Oh, yeah, fully. Yeah, yes. From the Mami Akun I met in that underground room. And even from the Mami Akun I first met here on the rooftop, this one was different from them all. That's interesting. Fair, but the only thing is, my question is, does he actually know that the incident has happened? The peaceful days will continue on. Will they? Maybe that's why Mamiya-kun wants to keep acting like the incident never happened. Maybe that's why the Mamiya-kun from that time doesn't show himself. That's reasonable, I mean, obviously. Isn't it interesting to think about the fact that Takuji becomes, and he shows his delinquent self when Zakuro is in need of protection the most. And if anything, I think that shows a level of understanding that we never really knew he had. The days when Kimika and I fought against Akasaka-san and Kitami-san, and the night in the park where it all ended. God, yeah. Yeah, but no, I can't see that, and I find that so interesting. Maybe it really is an unnecessary past for the peaceful days of the present. Maybe that's true for Mamiya-kun too. Yeah, as if he wants to forget everything related to maybe his delinquency ever happened. That's really interesting. No, because he said he wanted to become more diligent and studious, and people were actually talking to him and liking him as well. That's fucking weird. But the only thing is, he has objectively been really, really awful to Yuki, to Tsubasa's crowd, and yet at the same time these people were not doing anything in order to exert their revenge, which genuinely surprises me. But then again, with all of these arseholes, they're kind of hard to see if you don't skip lessons, to be honest. Takuji was getting bullied, and I feel very sorry for him in his sewer state, but at the same time he kind of had it coming because he skipped so many lessons. But then again, somebody like him, he can't help skipping lessons. The amount of stress he has just from being in the classroom and paranoia, it's ridiculous. There were always bad rumours about him floating around before, but now his reputation is getting better. He's cheerful and his grades are good and people like him. It's just interesting that he had a clear motive to change, so he wants to put past the thing that was necessary for people to change. Maybe he thought that securing a relationship with Zakuro is the best means of changing. Yeah. People seem to be more open to me and Kimika as well, since we were friends with Mamiya-kun before this happened. Yeah, no, I don't blame her. I would be. Kimika just seems troubled by the attention though, since she doesn't get along with people very well. Oh, but mysteriously enough, Kimika's aloof attitude actually made people like her more. Oh, she is, fucking hell. Now that I think of it, she was always cute. She's no good at sports, but she's pretty smart too. Seriously, yeah, I couldn't agree more. There was never any reason for people to dislike her. Bullying is just like that. Yeah, fully. Yeah, fully. Yeah, there doesn't need to be a good reason. Depending on the circumstances, sticking out can either make someone... Yeah, can either cause someone to be bullied or cause them to be adored. Yeah, that is a good point. As Mamiya-kun's reputation changed, so did ours. But eventually the popular Mamiya-kun grew distant from us. Peaceful days. Isn't that interesting about the fact that obviously everything with regards to Takuji, that was just a little high school thing. It was something that was never going to fully last, but at the same time it was a romance that Zakuro felt as if it was so significant that she would do anything for it. I remember how infatuated she was, and it is interesting that the more we've gone through this story, the less her infatuation has grown. So much so that when they grow distant, she can actually accept it. Ongoing peaceful days. Of course, yeah. Were you thinking about Mamiya Takuji again? Oh. Seems like you haven't talked to him lately, huh? just find that so interesting that Zakuro has probably been someone who has inspired good change in him. And obviously, not bad change, i.e. it's my own invention. How he changed there. Yeah, seriously. Bullying is the most merciless thing. This is really well put, I think. Yeah, it is really quite something. Seems like you haven't talked to him lately, huh? God, that wasn't what I was expecting. He seems like the type of person who will become popular, I can see that. Yeah, or rather it doesn't feel like I can talk to him. He's so popular. I think it's so nice that Zakuro and Kimika can have peaceful days together. They deserve this, they really do. And it's just horrible to think about the fact that there were so many times where, I mean, Jesus Christ, compare this to It's My Own Invention. I mean, Zakuro kills herself, Kimika. She also kills herself in the end, but she kills hundreds of other people with her. Yeah, and just, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. And this is the relationship that Kimika was wanting. This is the one that she did so much for in It's My Own Invention. What happened? He was always so awkward before, but now he's completely different. Yeah, you might be right. You like him, don't you? You're still saying that? But... damn it, that is never something Zakuro would have said before. I took her hand. Do you want to skip class? Let's skip. But... But what? Zakuro, that's kind of... Kimika's face went bright red. I pulled her hand. Yeah, good point. Yeah, wait, Zakuro, that's kind of bold. Oh my god, I grabbed my bag and pulled her hand. I have to get my bag too. That's hilarious. God, isn't it interesting to think about the fact that this relationship between her and Takuji is good, but at the same time it's really bad because she's caring about school less and she's skipping class more. And she's forcing Kimika into it, so obviously her grades are going to plummet as well. I mean, obviously happiness over grades all the time, but at the same time, I mean, it's really bad just how that has affected everything. But then again, I mean, she's happy. She's alive as well. That's more important, I suppose. I have to get my bag too. They've completely ran away from school. Oh my god. Zakuro. What the fuck are they doing? The teachers were chasing us. You are a fucking idiot, what? Well, yeah, you tried to walk right out of the front gate.
でもさ、前は赤坂さんとか白山くんとかもやってたことじゃない。
Oh, but Akasaka-san and Shiroyama-kun did that before, didn't they?
でもあんたは優等生でしょ。
The fuck is the point of doing any of this? But you're supposed to be a good student. Yeah,
そん
seriously.
なことないよ。私は単純に自分で何も決められなかっただけだよ。
Not at all. I just couldn't decide anything by myself.
決まり事は人が決めてくれたことだから
Oh, yeah,
決めら
that's
れた通りにやって
interesting.
ただけ。でもさ、
I obeyed the rules just because someone else had decided them. Yeah, no, I can't kind of see that because obviously beforehand she was a sheep. She was always obeying everything. She was always being roped into people's shitty bullies' desires, and also she was just doing things that were predetermined for her by other people. She wasn't doing what she truly wanted to do herself. I can kind of see that, but at the same time, I mean, sure, I think her development is good and seeing freedom, that is good, but at the same time she's got to be careful because she will be harmed in her later life if she doesn't try now. Ah. Oh. Right, that was not what I was expecting. You could have asked her whether she wanted to do this or not? Oh god. Just like Mami-Akun had changed, there were a lot of things inside me that had changed. This is so interesting. Now I see why she wanted to skip class. All of a sudden, why she made such a bold move. Just like Mami-Akun had changed, there were a lot of things inside me that had changed. Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah, the most important thing to me had changed. Before, the most... It's really quite beautiful, whilst before, the most important thing to me was simply not upsetting anyone, but the person I was before had disappeared. Yeah, no, I totally see that. When did that happen? When I first started to like Mami-Akun? Agreed, yeah, fully. Mami-Akun certainly did change me. Yeah, god, I wouldn't be seeing this CG if that wasn't the case. Mami-Akun gave me the courage to move forward under my own power. Agreed, yeah. But oddly enough, once I took that step, the wonderful future that I had envisioned suddenly changed. His form, which had been foremost in my mind, changed once I took that step forward. Well, fair enough. Yeah, don't let it control you. This might be a rude way of saying it, but I don't think he should be the most important thing in my life anymore. Because he was splendid enough on his own. Yeah, no, that is a good point. Yeah, he had everything he needed on his own. I just didn't feel anything for him anymore. Yeah. God.
何怖がってるのかな？
What are you so scared of?
サクロ、こんな人の往来がある場所で。
Oh my god, Zakuro, there are so many people around.
別に気にすることないでしょ？
Jesus Christ. Yeah, she's really going for it, it seems. I can't believe that. Oh my god, does she get a say in this? When I took that step forward, the scenery... It is interesting that she has got Kimika. If I'm going to be honest, I feel like that always makes more sense. Because, like she said, Takuji does seem like someone who is fine on his own. He seems like somebody who's already been changed. He doesn't need... He's had all the change he needs, and now he can set off on his journey, really. He doesn't need anyone else, which I find very interesting, considering he's very popular. But at the same time, Zakuro and Kimika, I mean, I couldn't imagine Kimika without Zakuro, especially after their relationship has intensified this much. That's a really interesting move she's made. When I took that step forward, the scenery changed. yeah, no, totally. The unusual became usual, and the usual became unusual. God, yeah.
いきなり何するんだよ。
What are you doing all of a sudden? Kimika complained, her eyes wet with tears. Kimika is always like this.
ならいちいち確認してからやればよかったかな。
Would you rather I asked first?
そういう問題じゃなく。
That's not the problem.
たくザクロはもっといじめられっ子で受け専門だと思ってたのに。
God, yeah, jeez, I thought you were supposed to be a bullied girl. Right.
だから私はいじめられっ子じゃなくなったんだよ。
Yeah, but no, totally, I'm not a bully girl anymore. And we can definitely see it.
そういう話じゃなくて。
That's not what I mean. What is what you mean then?
なんかもっと嫁っぽいと思ってたのに。
God.
ちょっと言えば S だった。
I thought you were a masochist, but I guess you really were a sadist. I
そん
like
なの
that.
よくわからないよ。
Don't know about that.
だいたいあの日いきなり襲ってきたのはキミカじゃない。
After all, you were the one that suddenly attacked me that day.
あの時は
That was...
私が間宮君に取られるのが悔しかった。
You didn't want Mami-Akun to take me away from... That is interesting.
それはその
That's,
たくいきなり私の転送を奪っておいて、こんな場
what?
所でのキスぐらいでおどおどされてもな。
Yeah, fair, but what the fuck?
あの時は
The fuck has gone on?
なんか必死で
That was, I was kind of desperate.
必死で
This is so wrong. What's desperate?
ただ引き止めたかっただけだったん
Yeah,
だけど、
fair enough.
なんか勢い余って。
I just wanted to stop you from going off with him, and I got carried away.
勢い余ってしちゃ
God,
ったんだ。
that's really surprising. You got carried away and you did it with me. She can't even face up to what she's done. Well, this has a good ending. God, I just genuinely can't believe that. This is really not something I would have thought Kimika would have done, but it's interesting that Kimika cared about Zakuro so much and yet she couldn't say anything. And that is why she was becoming more and more sad the more Zakuro came to try to appeal to Takuji, really. It's because of the fact that... By the way, I really do wonder what the school must have thought in terms of Takuji completely getting back on track and making something of his life. I really do wonder how unexpected it must have been. To be fair. Yeah, but I'm sorry, but this can't. How can this happen? I don't understand. You take somebody's virginity, but then they kiss you. I mean, my god, if I'm going to be honest, I think this has had an incredibly good scenario that has happened. I mean, Kimika has got incredibly lucky that she hasn't completely destroyed the relationship with this. I hope it was consensual, Jesus Christ. No, I'm sorry, if it wasn't consensual, they would not be having this dialogue here. No way. Dialogue? Sorry, I meant conversation. There would be none of this dialogue, no way. Kimika's face turned bright red as she turned away.
そうなんでしょ。
Isn't that right?
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
ってなんだよ。今度は言葉プレイか？
Hey, what's this? Are you teasing me?
そんなことないよ。私はただキミカに質問してるだけだよ。
Oh god, yep, fair enough. God, it's so weird seeing Zakuro just totally, well, like Kimika said, totally the dominant one in this relationship. Not at all, I'm just asking you a question.
なんかザクロ、すごく意地悪だ。
Zakuro, you're kind of a bully.
意地悪なんてしてないのに。
Oh
そんなこ
god.
と言うのなら、もうキスは永遠になしない？
I'm not bullying you. If that's what you think I'm doing, would you rather I never kiss you again?
それは。
Oh god. Isn't it funny that Kimika is the one who's totally teased now? God, I never would have thought it.
それは。
That's what? Oh no, this again.
もうザクロなんて嫌いだ。死んじゃえ。うんこったれ。
Oh. Jeez, I hate you. Go die, you piece of shit. I mean, obviously they're playfully doing it, but still. Oh no, I've done it. She's so cute. I can't help but bully her.
ごめん、キミカ。
Oh, I'm sorry, Kimika. Seriously, yeah. It's like the reverse of our relationship before. People were funny. Yep, you're damn right. You are as well, my god. Oh my fucking god. It's the park. It's that same park where everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything changed. Kimika.
相変わらず足早いのね。
Yep, her speed is totally giving her a disadvantage. She wants to get to somewhere where nobody else is. Obviously, you're just as fast as ever, huh?
ああいや、私が早いんじゃなくてね。それよりごめん。
No, it's not that I'm fast, but rather, well, more importantly, I'm sorry.
ザクロ。
Zakuro.
このパターン何度も繰り返してきた。
Hey, how many times have we repeated this same pattern?
だってキミカ可愛いからついいじめたくなっちゃうんだもん。
I can't help but bullying you sometimes, you're too cute. God.
その言い訳も何度も聞いた。
How many times have I heard that excuse?
ごめんね。
Sorry.
なら約束して。
Then promise me.
何を？
What?
もうキスしないとか意地悪言わないって。
You won't bully me or say you won't kiss me. You won't kiss me anymore. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yeah, she totally wants to do it. Oh my god.
うわ、抱きつくな。
So you're embarrassed about kissing somebody and yet... So you're not embarrassed about having somebody literally kiss you and yet you can't hug them. Right. Well, don't hug me.
約束するよ、キミカ。
Yes, yes, I promise, Kimika.
なんだよそれ。胸がでかいって自慢か。
That so sounds like something Kimika would say. That's hilarious. Oh, I've got a picture of the sky now. Yeah, no, that's actually really sweet just to see how the relationship has continued. If I'm going to be honest, I thought that was something that... At first I thought it was something that never could happen, but then obviously the more you think about it, the more it makes sense and the more sweet it becomes, really. I love that this is happening and it's just such a pleasant ending. Let's be honest, anything with Takuji wouldn't have worked. I think it's just so nice that these people are together, really. And I just find it so funny that Zakudo's personality has totally changed. She is the one on top of the relationship and she's the one who's teasing her. And she is always the casual and... Well, she's the one who has learnt from what Kimika has taught her, and obviously Takuji as well, but Kimika too. I think that's hilarious. At least this is not genuine, and this is just teasing. God, could you imagine if Zakuro became a bully? How awful would that be? Like a genuine bully. People are funny, I agree. I think that's so funny that she's moved by it, and then she realises. That's hilarious. So something Kimika would say. A lot changed after that. Every day was different. Actually, at the end, this happened. Oh yeah, isn't that ironic? Oh my god, I think that's so funny. The fact that the world ends on the summer break. And obviously, well, the world ends for Takuji and the world ends for everybody involved. God, and look at this. Isn't it ironic? They just had to make it, they just had to completely exaggerate just how good this situation is. That was July 19th, the last day before summer break. At the end of the semester, I went up to the rooftop to talk to Mamiya-kun. And when I got there... Aw.
Takashima, Zakuro-san.
Oh. Right, that's unusual. I wasn't expecting to see her there. Takashima Zakuro-san. Your name was...
Otonashi Ayana.
Otonashi Ayana. Alright, I think I've seen her before. Where, I wonder? Did you come to see Mamiya Takuji-kun before, today? Did you come to see Mamiya Takuji-kun today? Yeah, I did, but... Yeah, how did she know that? Isn't that funny? Mamiya-kun won't be coming to school. Why? Bit odd. Really? Did he catch a cold? Yeah. I do find it very interesting that Takuji feels as if the world will be destroyed on the 20th, so he must return everybody to the sky and obviously return everybody away from the incomplete world. On July the 19th. But it's interesting that school ends on the 20th, so obviously because of that there will be fewer people that would have a reason to be where Takuji is at the moment, just under the school's foundations in the most dodgy place you could find. He didn't catch a cold. Today is the day before the 20th. The day before the 20th? Wait, that's still going on? What? Yes. Therefore, the two will have their final battle. What the fuck?
戦い？
So even in this scenario, Yuki and Takuji are enemies? Their final battle?
そう。本当は地下室の間宮君が優勢になるは
Yes,
ずの
yes,
戦
yes,
いだった
totally.
けど、
Oh, okay, never mind then.
今回はあなたの選択で魂の行方が変わった。
Yes, the Mamiyaku from the underground room was supposed to be the victor. Yeah, like in It's My Own Invention, yeah. Yeah, but because of your choice, his soul has changed directions. And isn't it interesting that she knows all of this as well? But what I find so interesting is I do wonder how the relationship between Takuji and Yuki is at the moment. Yeah, the choice to return to the classroom. That's it. That is all that happened, and to obviously see Kimika and to realise and to be affected by her teachings. His soul?
そう。魂の世界。魂の繰り返し。
Yes, the world of souls. The repetition of souls. That's kind of like a representation of Subarashiki Hibi, really. We see repetitions of so many different Takujis until everything goes. And the cycle is broken.
この魂の糸は回転する世界模型からちぎれて、その先に進む運命となった。
Yeah, his soul string has been severed from the repeating world's model. He's now fated to walk a different path. Now, what does that mean?
あなたが正しい選択をしたというだけの話。
That's so interesting. It just means that you made the correct choice.
すべては望んだ通りに。創造主であった間宮拓司は破壊者であった間宮拓司と共に死に、調和者であった間宮拓司だけが残った。
That's really interesting. Everything is as desired. Takuji the creator and Takuji the destroyer died together, and Takuji the harmonizer alone remained. No, I can see that, because obviously the one who harmonizes his own life and who makes things go forward, he doesn't create any horrible reality, but the only thing is he doesn't destroy any realities either, and he doesn't destroy the world for so many people. As a result of him existing, nobody dies, and he just lives a normal life, and nothing is created. No ridiculous cult is created. That's so interesting. Yeah. Everything is as he desired. I agree. Yeah. Interesting, as Tomosane-kun desired. So they're probably going to be friends. Whatever Tomosane's true motives are, he hates the personality of Takuji that's obviously in the underground basement, and yeah, ironically, it's the case that I suppose the thing is, Yuki hated this other personality. There is something that is much deeper than everything that has gone on that we are knowledgeable about that is between Yuki and Takuji. So I don't know what Yuki really hates about the underground Takuji so much so that he feels the need to bully him and be a horrible person to him. But at the same time, I think obviously Yuki is a good person. I can't see his death in It's My Own Invention and not think he's a good person, but that's so interesting. As Tomosane-kun desired. What about Yuki? What about Yuki? Minakami Yuki? We haven't seen her once. Tomosane-kun?
魂は輪廻する。同じ世界に何度でも。だから私はここにいる。
The soul is endlessly reincarnated in the same world. Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
さあ、あなたは先に進みなさい。それこそが約束された地。
Yeah, no, fair enough.
素晴らしき日々の始まり。
Now you two must move forward. The promised land awaits you. The wonderful every day is beginning. I think that's so interesting because this is just normal life for her. Her life is just going to continue, but at the same time, people like Ayana, they are putting it so poetically and so exaggeratedly as well, if you ask me.
もしかして
God.
あなたは間宮君の秘密を全て知っているのですか?
God, so I wonder in the bad end, when we probably see Ayana at the ending, what the fuck is going to have changed? I've not heard good things about the Looking Glass Insect's bad ending. Let me just say that. Can't wait for it, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah, but no, I do see that. It is interesting that Ayana always gives a very, very narrator-based viewpoint, a neutral viewpoint, as if she isn't the one who is really being affected, but she is always commenting on the effects of other characters, but not on the effect of herself. Do you know all of Mamiya-kun's secrets?
秘密
Secrets?
今言ってました。創造主の間宮君と
Yeah,
破
yeah,
壊者の間宮君、
totally.
そして調和者としての間宮君。
Just now you were talking about Mamiya-kun the creator, Mamiya-kun the destroyer, and Mamiya-kun the harmonizer.
それって
What is that?
そう
Ah, that's so
でもその
interesting.
答えはあなたのものじゃない
I hope it's for us. Not for Zakuro, but for the reader, maybe? Please? Yes, but the answer is not for you.
あなたは素晴らしき日々を手に入れてそしてそれ以外のものを失った
You've obtained the wonderful every day and you've lost everything besides.
だからあなたはその質問の答えを得ることはできないそれとも
That's why you can't obtain that answer. Or maybe... God, look at her. Look at how scary she looks here. Look at how soulless. Ironically, look at how similar she looks when Takuji's eyes are black. Ayana-san grinned. I felt a chill run up my spine. Totally, yeah.
今をすべて捨ててみ
Look
る
at her eyes. No, no, don't. No. Because the thing is oh, fucking, why are you threatening this? Why? I mean, obviously, I suppose it's just a test to test her conviction and to test how much she believes about her future. But at the same time, why are you doing this? This will change everything. This will change everything for the worst. Would you like to give up all you have now?
そして違う魂の行方を見てみたい
That's interesting. I don't think it's Takuji's soul, it's her soul. Would you like to see the soul take a different direction? No, don't, genuinely. I mean, sure, I want to know everything about Takuji, but don't ruin Zakuro for it. I made my choice.
今なんて捨てません。
Good for you.
私はちゃん
Fucking
と
hell.
今ここで生きることを誓ったんだから。
That genuinely could have been so threatening. Yeah, it's just one truth where the truth is so grave that it's better off not knowing, and that obviously tells us a lot about the true nature of Takuji's self. Whatever this is so tragic that it will change her life just knowing. I can't give up what I have now. I've sworn to live my life to the fullest. Yeah. God, this could have gone wrong. I can't give up what I have now. I've sworn to live my life to the fullest. Good for you. Yeah. Alright. Ayana-san gave me another, smaller smile and then looked at the sky. Yeah, the Zuno Solar makes sense. That sky's no longer here. Seriously, yeah, I agree. So, did she say Nakushita Sora or what? Oh. Wait, so the lost sky... Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, passive form of Ushinau. Yeah. The world of one, just one soul erased that sky. But then again, the world of one soul caused that sky as well. Well, I suppose obviously the world of one soul was influenced by the world of Zakuro's soul. God, I think that it's so ironic that Ayana knows that Zakuro suicides in every other world and she has the worst case scenario happen to her, yet she doesn't say a thing. The lost sky. The world of just one soul erased that sky. Yeah, has decided to live her life, that's key. The girl who has decided to live her life has obtained the wonderful everyday. Yeah. Oh shit, what's happening now? I still don't know what she meant by that. I do, fucking hell. Funny that I never saw Ayana-san again after that. I never saw Ayana-san again after that. Interesting. I heard rumours that she had transferred or dropped out, but I never knew for sure. I seriously, yeah, fair enough. I seriously wonder what Ayana's true intentions are. I really, really do, and it just feels so unusual. To be honest, it seemed irrelevant to me. The question I asked Ayana-san on that day. Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, even that question seemed irrelevant to my life. Hey, Zakuro. Eh? Oh, yeah, wow. Yeah, no, so these two are sitting, and obviously Zakuro is looking really fucking proud, good for her. And Kimika's looking happy as well. Everybody's looking happy. That's the thing, it just feels so weird to see, but everybody is happy. What's wrong? Oh, sorry. Lost in thought again. Geez, Zakuro, you're always like that. Not at all. Oh my god, yeah. They're probably going to spend the entire summer together. More importantly, summer is ending, huh? Feels weird to see that, yeah, it's starting to get a bit chilly.
秋になり冬が来て、
Yeah.
そしてまた暖かい春に変わる。
The summer will end, fall will come, winter will come, and then it will change to another warm spring.
そうだね。
Yeah. I walk through the chilly park. I move forward.
どうしたの？
Huh? What's wrong?
あ、いや、なんでもない。
Oh no, it's nothing. What is this feeling? It's a strange unease, like I feel uncomfortable about something. It's really... Oh, that's unusual.
どうったの？行こうよ。
What's the hold up? Let's go. I wonder what she feels uncomfortable about. Let's go. Let's go. When I heard her words, I understood. I see, so that's what it was. Oh yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, and isn't it ironic to think about the fact that this is just a repeat of what's happened before. Kimika is going to do what she does the best and change Zakuro as much as possible. This feeling is probably the same feeling I felt when I took my first step. I just forgot the feeling until now. Yeah, the unease and the nervousness about big amounts of change. This is probably what my first step felt like. It's not just me either. Everybody felt this way when they took their first step. It's the same feeling animals must have felt when they first started to walk on land. Yeah, no, that's interesting. Oh god. I felt nervous about my first step. Yeah, no, I don't blame her. Who wouldn't? Especially because of how big it's going to be and just how much it's going to change. There's no mistaking it. After all, it's my first step. Yeah, it's the beginning of a new scenery. But eventually that single step becomes an everyday experience. Good point, yeah. The single step into tomorrow that I so feared, that was a common scene. It became an everyday routine. It became easy, it became incredibly normal. No, I see that, so obviously you're afraid at the step that you're going to take into just beginning this relationship with Kimika and spending days with her. But the only thing is, obviously, you make that step and then you do the same thing every single day because the relationship is something that's not just going to happen for one day, it's going to happen for many. So of course you need to make that same step that you always make every single time, and the more you do it, the more normal it becomes, obviously, and the more stronger of a person you become as well, I think. What is it?
あのさ、キミカ。
Nothing. Hey, Kimika.
何？
What?
ありがとう。
Thank you.
私と歩いてくれてありがとう。この
Yeah,
一歩を
no.
歩いてくれてありがとう。
No, I do see that. Yeah, thank you for walking by my side. Thank you for helping me to take this step.
あの
Kimika hesitated. Yeah, no, fair enough. Of course you did. It was a bit too sudden. I've always been like that, though I never had the courage. Agreed, yeah, though I never had the courage to say what I was thinking. It's so nice to see these people actually change for the better. Seriously is. Yeah, no, I totally see that. That's why she hesitated. Yeah. Kimika laughed cheerfully as she responded. Kimika laughed cheerfully as she responded.
私こそありがとう。
Thank you too
一緒に歩いてくれて。
for walking by my side. Oh. Ooh. The wind was just a little bit chilly. Why is that so slow? As the chilly wind blew in our faces, we held hands and walked for... Yeah, good for them, man. Good for them. What's... I see that. I totally see that. Yeah. Yeah, reasonable. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, they should be. Yeah, good for them. Yeah, no, I see that, yeah. Ooh. I agree, yeah, totally, yeah. Oh, it's totally. Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Why would it not be? She deserves it and Kimika deserve it. They deserve everything for how much they have suffered. God, that was the end. Oh, that was so good. That really was good, and it was so pleasant just to see everything that had gone on with Takuji, and it was just so interesting to see them disappearing and them distancing themselves together, and it shows that the feelings of lust... Isn't it ironic to think about the fact that the feelings Zakuro had of lust, and they were not only because she couldn't really make up her mind and she didn't have the confidence to fully decide herself, I think, and obviously do things that would really change herself. But what I find very interesting is the fact that the feelings of lust have turned out to be a person that, like with Cyrano, a person you can never get in love with. So, yeah, just find the next best person. Yeah, no, I think that's so sweet, and I think it's very interesting that this was always something Kimika potentially had with Zakuro. But it does make sense because obviously, Kimika was the one person that Zakuro could actually accept, and isn't it funny that the unusual became usual? So the unusual of their friendship was wrong. It was so weird to happen. All that should have been there was suffering from Megu and Satoko, but Yeah, look at this. So nice, and I think it's nothing short of evil that Negu and Satoko, they bully so much, and they take away the potential for a relationship like this, and it's evil, it really is. It's just so happy to see. I'm so happy to see all of this work and everything working. But I feel bad for this person. being renamed. What the fuck am I saying? Having the same name as Senagawa. This is such a good ending theme. This is the song I will always associate with Subarashiki Hibi. This is a really good story, and I'm assuming that the more I read this, the more I read the bad ending, and I'm assuming that in the bad ending we're going to see Zakuro's suicide and the total decline and all of the other trigger warnings this game has. I feel like the more we read the bad ending, the more this good ending is going to become intensified, and the more its message is going to really give us an idea just of the extent of how special it is. Oh, there's more. What's happening now? Let me guess, we're getting an H scene. The end of summer. That day. Oh, that was not what I was expecting. There's more. What Kimika always called that day. I don't remember the exact date. Well, that's actually a lie. I even remember the exact time when it happened. But I pretend I don't remember. I like to mess with Kimika by playing dumb. I'd assume that's the time where their relationship began. Kimika wants me to feel responsible for it until I die. Yeah, she doesn't want me to abandon her until I die. She doesn't want me to abandon her until I die. She wants to be together until the end. Well, that's not important right now. This is, in my opinion, the most important day for us. What Kimika always called that day.
Zakuro.
I'm gonna read this tomorrow, I think. Bet you anything there's an H scene. Yep, Zakuro. I knew it. I genuinely knew it. And of course they're doing it in the classroom as well, but yeah, okay. Oh my god, that was brilliant. That really was good. My god. I think this has really got to be one of the best endings in the series, I think. Very enjoyable and really interesting, and just I'm just so excited how my view of this ending and just how my view of everything and how good it is. And I mean, I can already tell how much has been stopped and how much has been made better as a result of Zakuro being able to change. But my god, I'm assuming when I read the bad ending, just the amount this ending makes me feel is going to increase more and more. It's so pleasant, and it's tragic to see just how good of a life could have had potential, and yet how in so many worlds it has completely been fucked up by various factors, really. It's going to be so interesting to see the bad ending. Also tomorrow, I do wonder, what is it, quote unquote, that day? Yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen, but Zakuro wants to take it to her grave. She wants to take that day towards her when she dies. I do wonder what it would be. Also, everything with Tomo-sane, I found that interesting too. The fact that this is what Tomo-sane wanted. What's happening with his future, I wonder, as a result of everything that's going on here. I really, really do wonder. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow when we're going to experience Funny H scene. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, because fucking hell, I did. It was a really good ending. I mean, they really know how to end a chapter well, and it's just so interesting. Everything with Zakuro and Takuji. I'll bet you anything in the bad ending, Zakuro's feelings of Takuji, they never stop and they never are distracted for. They're never taken away from. Well, I mean, Kimika does kind of take away her feelings for Takuji. I mean, not obviously in an evil way, but you get what I mean. God, it's such a good ending, man. It really, really was. So I'm excited to read the other one. See you in a bit. What, see you in a bit? I mean, in a day. Fucking hell. Why am I saying that? But anyway, bye. That's what I'm trying to say.